They say money doesn't buy happiness, but being broke sure doesn't either. Here's the harsh truth. Most people aren't poor because they don't earn enough. They're poor because they've fallen into invisible traps that quietly drain their future. If you've ever wondered why your bank account never seems to grow, no matter how hard you work, stay right here. Because by the end of this video, you'll see money in a completely different way. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Today, we're breaking down the 5 biggest money traps that almost everyone falls into, even smart people. These traps are sneaky, they look harmless, even logical, but the truth, they're financial quicksand. This video isn't about get-rich-quick tricks. It's about learning how the system and our own habits quietly pull us backward. And the best part? Escaping them doesn't require you to be a financial genius. It just takes awareness and a few powerful mindset shifts that will completely change how you handle money for the rest of your life. Ready? Let's jump into the first trap, one that catches almost everyone, and it starts with something we're taught to do since childhood. Trap number 1, the save your way to wealth illusion. We've all heard this one. Save your money, don't waste it, keep it safe in the bank. It sounds smart, responsible. Your parents probably said it, your teachers definitely said it. But here's the dark truth. Saving money alone is one of the biggest financial traps of our time. Think about it. You work hard, put money aside, and feel proud seeing your savings grow. But while your balance looks stable, something invisible is happening: inflation. Let's make it real. Say you have $10,000 in a savings account. With today's inflation rate, let's say around 4%, in just 1 year, that $10,000 quietly loses $400 in value. You don't see it, but it's gone. In 5 years, that's over $2,000 of your buying power erased, without you ever touching the money. Here's the kicker. Most banks give you less than 1% interest, so your safe money is actually losing value every single day. It's like keeping ice cubes in the sun and hoping they'll stay solid, and that's the trap. People confuse safety with stagnation. They think if their money isn't moving, it's safe. But in reality, if your money isn't growing, it's shrinking. Now, I'm not saying don't save. You should have an emergency fund, at least 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash. But beyond that, every extra dollar should have a job, and that job should be to grow. Let me tell you a quick story. Meet Maya. She's 28, works a steady job, and saves $300 a month in her bank account. She's proud of her discipline, and she should be. After 5 years, she's saved about $18,000. But inflation? It's quietly taken away nearly $3,000 of its real value. Now imagine if Maya had taken just half of that, $150 a month, and invested it into a simple index fund averaging 8% a year. In 5 years, that half alone would have grown to nearly $11,000 and kept growing beyond that. That's the difference between saving and building wealth. One is static, the other compounds. So how do you escape this trap? Step 1, keep only your emergency fund in cash. Step 2, learn about investment vehicles, index funds, ETFs, real estate, or even starting a small side business. Step 3, automate your growth. Set up automatic transfers into an investment account. Because here's the truth, the people who get rich don't work harder, they let their money work for them. Saving won't make you wealthy, investing wisely will. Trap 2, the lifestyle inflation trap. Okay, now this doesn't mean you can't enjoy your money. Buy things you love, but buy them because you value them, not because they signal value to others. Here's a mental trick I use. Before every big purchase, ask, will this make me richer in 5 years, or just look richer today? That one question can save you years of financial regret. So far, we've exposed 2 of the biggest traps that quietly drain your future: saving without investing, and letting lifestyle inflation eat your growth. But the next traps are even more subtle. And one of them is so common, it's built into how we think about debt, education, and even success itself. In the next section, we'll dive into trap number 3 and trap number 4, where you'll see how good intentions and bad information can cost you decades of progress. Trap number 3, the good debt deception. You've probably heard this one before. There's bad debt and there's good debt. And it sounds logical, right? Bad debt is credit cards. Good debt is student loans, car loans, or a mortgage, because they build your future. But here's the reality. There's no such thing as good debt if it doesn't bring you real returns. Debt is a tool, and just like a knife, it can cook your dinner or cut your hand. Let's break it down. We're taught that things like student loans are investments in yourself. And yes, education can be powerful. But what if that degree doesn't pay off financially? What if you borrow $100,000 for a career that earns $40,000 a year? That's not an investment. That's a lifetime anchor. Here's the harsh truth. Most people never calculate the ROI on their debt. They just assume it's worth it because everyone else does it. Let's look at some numbers. According to the U.S. Department of Education, over 40 million Americans have student loan debt, and the average borrower owes around $37,000. Worse, it takes the average person over 20 years to pay it off. Imagine spending 2 decades working just to repay a decision you made at 18. Now let's talk about car loans, another normal kind of debt. People justify them by saying, well, I need a car to get to work. True, but there's a difference between needing a car and financing a status symbol. The second you drive a new car off the lot, it loses around 10 to 15% of its value instantly, and up to 60% in 5 years. Yet people finance these depreciating assets for 5 to 7 years with interest, thinking it's manageable. That's not good debt. That's silent wealth leakage. Debt becomes good only when it makes you money back, like buying a property that cash flows more than its mortgage, or taking a business loan that produces profit beyond the repayment, or investing in skills that directly raise your income. Here's an example. Meet Jason. He's 24, fresh out of college, and he wants to start a freelance business. He takes a $3,000 course on digital marketing and buys a $1,000 laptop. Total debt, $4,000. 6 months later, he's making $2,000 a month from clients. That's an ROI of 600% in the first year. Now that's good debt because it grows your earning potential. The problem is that most people don't take debt to invest. They take it to consume, to buy things that lose value and never pay them back, at least not in dollars that grow. So how do you escape this trap? Simple rule. If it doesn't make you money or save you money, don't finance it. If you wouldn't borrow money to buy it twice, you probably shouldn't borrow once. There's a saying I love, poor people use debt to look rich. Rich people use debt to get richer. The difference isn't the interest rate, it's the purpose. When you shift from using debt for comfort to using it for growth, you'll start to see the system for what it really is, a machine built to keep consumers paying forever. And once you step outside of it, that's when you start building real freedom. Trap number 4, the someday mindset trap. This one is psychological and maybe the most dangerous of all. It's the trap of waiting for the right time. You know the voice. I'll start investing when I make more money. I'll start saving once things calm down. I'll learn about finance next month. I'm just too busy right now. Sound familiar? This mindset has cost more people their financial future than any market crash ever could. Because the truth is, time, not money, is your most powerful wealth-building tool. And every year you wait, you lose it. Let's prove it with math. 2 friends, Emma and Jack. Emma starts investing at age 25, putting away $300 a month into an index fund earning 8% annually. Jack waits until age 35 to start, same amount, same rate. At 65, Emma's money has grown to around $15 million. Jack, only about $450,000. That's a $600,000 difference, just because Emma started 10 years earlier. Same money, same returns, different timing. That's the price of someday. And it doesn't just apply to investing. It applies to everything in finance: learning, planning, starting a side business, saving, budgeting. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years with consistency. There's a story about a farmer who plants a bamboo seed. For the first 5 years, nothing happens. No growth above ground, just daily watering. Then suddenly, in year 5, the bamboo shoots up over 80 feet in a matter of weeks. That's how money works. You don't see the results right away, but the roots are growing, and one day, it all compounds. The someday mindset kills that compounding. It tricks you into thinking you're being cautious when really, you're standing still. And the world doesn't reward people who stand still. Here's something wild. If you invested just $10 a day, the price of one coffee and a snack, starting at age 25, by 65 you'd have over $1 million, assuming an 8% average annual return. But if you wait until age 35 to start, you'd have less than $450,000. That's a $550,000 penalty for waiting 10 years, the cost of hesitation. The point? There is no perfect moment. There's only now. Don't wait to be ready. Start while you're scared, confused, and figuring it out. The best investors, the best savers, the best entrepreneurs, they all started before they were ready. Because they knew one thing: the pain of starting is temporary. The pain of never starting lasts forever. Mini recap before the final trap. Let's pause for a second. We've exposed 4 of the biggest money traps that quietly sabotage people's futures: saving instead of investing, lifestyle inflation, the good debt illusion, the someday mindset. Each one looks harmless on the surface, even logical, but together they create the illusion of progress while keeping you stuck in the same place. In the final part, we'll uncover trap number 5, the one that underlies all the others. It's not about math, it's about mindset. And once you break it, everything else changes. Because this last one isn't just a money trap, it's a life trap. Trap number 5, the I'll be happy when trap. This is the most dangerous money trap of them all, and it has nothing to do with your wallet. It lives in your mind. It's the voice that says, I'll be happy when I make 6 figures. I'll finally feel secure when I buy that house. I'll relax once I hit my savings goal. But here's the twist. That moment never really comes. Because the more you chase happiness through money, the more it keeps running just out of reach. Let's talk about why. Humans are wired for adaptation. It's called the hedonic treadmill. The idea that no matter what happens to you, good or bad, you eventually go back to your emotional baseline. You get a raise, you're thrilled for a week. Then that feeling fades and you need another hit. You buy a new phone, it's amazing for a month, then it's just another device. You hit your savings goal and suddenly you're thinking about the next one. We keep moving the finish line, and in doing so, we forget to enjoy the race. Here's the harsh truth. If you can't find peace while you're broke, you won't find it when you're rich. Because money amplifies who you already are, it doesn't replace it. Let's take a real story. There's a man named Tom who worked 12-hour days in a job he didn't love. He told himself, once I hit $1 million, I'll finally slow down and enjoy life. 10 years later, he hit that goal. But instead of celebrating, he felt empty. So he set a new goal, $2 million, then $5 million. He kept chasing because the happiness he expected wasn't waiting at the finish line. Meanwhile, his health declined. His relationships faded. He had money, but not freedom, because he never learned how to feel rich. Contrast that with Maria. She earns less, but she's intentional. She budgets wisely, invests consistently, and celebrates small wins. Every dollar she saves is proof that she's in control, not deprived. Money doesn't buy happiness, it buys options. It gives you time, choice, flexibility. But happiness, that's built through gratitude, purpose, and alignment. And when you combine those with financial intelligence, you stop chasing wealth and start living it. So how do you escape this final trap? You redefine what wealth means. Wealth isn't the number in your bank account. It's the number of days you wake up and feel free. It's sleeping without debt hanging over your head. It's having time to play with your kids or travel or just breathe without worry. It's knowing that your money is working quietly in the background while you live your life in the foreground. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it's only as good as the hands that hold it. So build a life where your happiness doesn't depend on your balance, but your balance supports your happiness. That's real wealth. Now let's tie it all together. Imagine you're standing in front of a huge maze. Inside it are millions of people, working, earning, spending, saving, chasing. They all believe they're moving forward, but most of them are walking in circles, trapped by invisible walls: fear, habit, comparison, and misinformation. The money traps. Every time you save without investing, you take one more turn in the maze. Every time you let your lifestyle inflate, another wall appears. Every time you borrow for comfort, the maze gets deeper. And every time you say someday, the exit gets farther away. But here's the secret no one tells you. The maze has no lock. You can step out anytime. The way out isn't luck, it's awareness. It's realizing that wealth isn't built by those who earn the most, but by those who keep the most, grow the most, and value the most. Once you see the maze, you can't unsee it. And that's the turning point. The moment you stop being a financial consumer and start being a financial creator. Let's recap the journey. Trap number 1, the save your way to wealth illusion. Saving is safe, but not enough. Escape by learning to invest and make your money work. Trap number 2, lifestyle inflation. Every raise should build your net worth, not your wardrobe. Escape by upgrading your future, not your furniture. Trap number 3, the good debt myth. Not all debt is good, only debt that grows your income. Escape by using debt as a tool, not a trap. Trap number 4, the someday mindset. Waiting for the right time means never starting. Escape by starting now, even small. Trap number 5, the I'll be happy when trap. Money won't fill the gaps that meaning should. Escape by defining wealth as freedom, not just finance. These 5 traps aren't random, they're connected. Each one feeds the next, creating a loop that keeps millions stuck. But the moment you recognize them, you break the loop. You stop being controlled by money and start controlling it. The takeaway, a new way to see money. Here's the truth most people never hear. Money is energy. It flows toward clarity and purpose, and away from fear and confusion. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will find a way to leave. But when you give every dollar a mission, to grow, to build, to serve, you begin to multiply it naturally. The people who win with money aren't smarter, they're just awake. So start today, not with a massive plan, not with perfection, but with a single decision. I will no longer be trapped. Because the moment you make that decision, the maze starts to disappear, and what's left is simple: freedom. If this video opened your eyes, don't let it end here. Watch the next video on your screen right now. Your money is dying in the bank. Here's how to bring it back to life. Because once you escape the traps, it's time to make your money grow.